Hello and welcome to the latest podcast of the University of Glasgow's Institute of Molecular Cell and Systems Biology with me, Lucy Alford.
And me, Anir, Pandit.
And me, Scarrot, new to the podcast. I'm a PhD student in my second year in Sean Collins' lab.
So in the last few podcasts, we have featured different members of the Institute across a range of academic careers and at varying stages of their careers. We have chatted to Professor Neil Bulleid, who is the head of the Institute, Paul Patterson, who is the chief technician, and PhD student Vari Davidson, who is at the very beginning of a research career. So today we have the pleasure of being joined by Bethany Fleming. Hello, Bethany.
Hello.
Now Bethany, after graduating in 2015, she went to work in industry before joining the University of Glasgow as a technician in November 2018. So she's quite new to the Institute. And Bethany currently works in the lab of Professor Neil Bulleid, whose work focuses on protein folding and the diseases associated with incorrect folding. So to begin with, Bethany, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the research of your lab group and also what does your average working day look like?
Okay, so as said, I'm in Professor Neil's lab. They study cellular proteins and they mainly look at the processes surrounding correct folding and the transport of these. And so there's a lot of focus on the ER, which is where proteins are synthesised, folded, modified and such. And they kind of look at the reductive pathways that correct non-native disulfide formation. So my average day really looks like whatever Neil that week has got me on doing. So at the minute, for example, I'm working on getting a CRISPR knockout for ERDJ5 and some HT1080 cells.
Wow.
So that is what I'm kind of working on just now. Being a technician, there's two in our lab, so me and the other technician, we kind of split ordering all the stocks in the lab, stuff like that. We get a lot of students in, so if there's any new students that don't know some simple techniques, we'll try and help them out and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what my average day is in the lab.
How did you choose your career as a lab technician?
Well, when I left uni in 2015, I started in industry, and my job then my title was an associate scientist, and the company that I worked for before a lab technician was actually something quite different. That was more people who maybe didn't have a scientific background. It was more to do with like housekeeping, ordering stocks and things like that. They didn't actually do any of the science side, so I actually didn't really know what a lab tech was. It's a very different role. So then when I seen it advertised when I was looking for jobs, and I seen that it was actually a lot more to it than what I had initially thought, and I thought it was maybe a good balance between still working in research, but maybe if you didn't want to do a PhD, like if that didn't particularly suit you, it's quite like a good in between. I know some technicians do have a PhD, but like if that wasn't really the route you particularly wanted to go down, and a lot of the things in the job description, they overlapped with what I was already doing anyway, such as like doing COSH forms, training junior staff. Like quite a lot of the roles are similar because it was a lot of like cell culture, working with cells, health and safety, stuff like that. So I thought even though I don't have a great background in like protein biology as such, there was a lot of like transferable skills, maybe not necessarily lab techniques, but like the general running of a lab, which I think maybe technicians are a bit more involved in than necessarily like PhD students or postdocs or whatever. So I thought it would maybe suit me, and I'd get to kind of expand my skill base more than what I had previously.
So that's quite interesting, and I know you've already mentioned that you've got an undergraduate degree and you didn't want to do a PhD, and that's part of the reason why you chose to be a technician. But could you tell us a little bit more about what your educational background leading to being a technician was?
So just standard, I went to high school 20 minutes away from here. That was it. I was not great at science actually in school, but I always found it the most interesting thing more than English or history or anything. So I started my degree at Glasgow Uni in 2011. Initially I picked physiology. That was what I did start off doing. By the end of second year uni, I had changed to virology, which was what my undergraduate degree was in. I graduated in 2015 I really enjoyed it. I liked the lab side of it. I found it really interesting. I thought I definitely wanted to continue with a career in science. So then I graduated in July of 2015. August I started in my old job in industry, and since then, well, that job, it was a lot of training of, it was more, yeah, like, so there was a lot of cell culture, and then, yeah, like that was mainly what it was. It was like a lot of kind of on the job training, but all my background was, it was virology was what I still really find that interesting. That's something that I would maybe consider doing later on, but that was what my undergrad was. So, yeah.
So you talk about all these wonderful skills that you've learned in your education and work career today, but what do you think are the sort of core integral skills vital to a career as a lab technician?
I don't want to sound like totally patronising, but like common sense. There's a lot, like, I think sometimes really clever people cannot have a great deal of common sense. So like maybe just like common sense, being hardworking, being able to communicate with everyone in your lab, because like maybe not so much me because I'm still quite junior, but like the other technician in my lab, like she's basically running the show, like she's everyone's point of contact for everything. So I think it's being able to communicate with people, help people, be patient when you're training. Like the lab, like the lab skills, they're quite general across all labs. I think it's like they're quite niche to whatever you're doing at that specific time, but I think just more like how you can communicate with people, organise, all of that is also equally crucial as to what you're learning, like maybe.
Yeah, I do think, talking about the lab I'm working in, if we didn't have our lab techs, the whole lab would just fall to pieces. As you say, they are the point of contact for so many things, and when things aren't working, you always look to them to give you advice and help. Why is this not working? So yes, absolutely fundamental to a successful lab group, I think.
They are the real brains of the lab, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'd say in my lab you do get a lot of that, where you get students, especially undergraduates who've not been in labs before, who maybe have really good like set of knowledge in theory, but I think that they really struggle with the practical side, and I think technicians always excel at any of the practical stuff in the lab. They're really necessary for it.
I can't even like speak for myself, but like Marianne, I even remember like the first time I met Neil, he was like, she's got green fingers, everything works. Like, everything works, and Marianne does it, and I was like, alright, no pressure. No pressure, that's right. But yeah, so.
Well, you've moved from industry over to academia. I pretty much did the same thing close to 4 years ago. I had my own motivations, but what were your motivations for moving across?
My motivations, I felt like where I was, I can't speak for all industry, like this was just the company that I was in, but like the higher up you get, the more office based you are. Like essentially you don't work in a lab once you progress past like a very, very junior level. It's more writing up study. You're kind of like a study director, essentially. Like that was just the place I was. I don't know, but like there wasn't really anyone over the age of like 25 worked in labs.
Wow.
So like when I left, I was 24, and I was the longest serving member of lab staff in my department. So it was kind of I just felt like if you're going up your job, it's not really science anymore, it's paperwork, and it's like, so I was just like, do I want this? And then I was thinking like, because again it's industry, it's all very like, this is your one job, you do this all day, every day, the same thing, and I was kind of concerned about being pigeonholed. Like if I get to 30 and I'd be like, I have one skill and that's it. Now do you know what I mean? Like, and if I wanted to stay in doing science and working in the lab, I felt it was just quite restrictive, and also just the age that I am at just now, that I'll probably never be like this financially free again to take the risk, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't have children, I don't have a mortgage, and I thought now's the time, like if I'm going to do it, try it now sort of thing, because I don't know if I'll get the opportunity, like I'll be in such a good position to take a risk like this again. And I just feel like when you're in industry, it kind of like, I know I'm not like naive, I know the world is a business, it's all about making money and that, but you very much feel it's like science is a business and it's how much money we can make, and you don't really get the freedom to think or make decisions on your own or anything like that. And like a lot of science is about thinking for yourself and like coming up with it, but you just don't get that opportunity.
You get some creativity, opportunities for creativity in academia. I would agree. When I was there in industry, I was there for 9 years. It was quite, you go there, you do the same stuff forever. I mean, you do progress. Yeah. Your progress is maybe faster if you're better at certain things than others, but you tend to do more or less the same things over and over. It gets a bit boring sometimes. You're earning money, yes, but are you really doing something fun? Maybe not. So yeah, that was what I wanted to do, go out and do something fun. So I'm guessing now in your current job, now you've been almost a year?
6 months.
6 months, yeah. You're finding it better?
Yeah, a lot better. I was like, I was when I heard I was coming on this, I was like, I'm going to try and not go in and slag off my old job for the whole time, but I was like, I really am enjoying it so much more, and like all of the people at my old work, I'm like, please get a chance, like please go and just do it, like just try, even if it's only for like a short time. But yeah, it's definitely better, I think.
What would you say the main differences are now that you're kind of back in academia rather than in industry?
Like absolutely everything is so different. Like, so I've made all this because there's so many things. So in industry there's like, well, again, I'm sure it differs, but where I was, it was a GMP, so it's good manufacturing. Like you had, everything was to good manufacturing standards, so that means you could get audited by clients, the FDA, the MHRA, all of that. They could just come in and go through all your stuff, and like it was so, the rules are so rigid. Like everything has to be completely meticulously documented. Well, we were moving towards electronic log books, but everything was handwritten. You have to write in a certain way, like you can't square things out. You have to sign and date everything. When you sign and date that's a legal contract to say this is the truth, there's nothing fraudulent. But which sounds like that, obviously that sounds obvious, but like it's things like expiry dates of disinfectant, what time you done it, what date you done it, the lot numbers, and this is like for every single thing that you do. So you spend so much time filling in paperwork, and then everything you do gets checked by your co-workers, and then it gets checked by the people upstairs, and then there's a whole QA department which goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb and checks everything. So you like, when I remember when I started here, I said like, yeah, like you can't make a mistake, and Marcel was like, well, you can't make mistakes here, and I was like, no, I understand what you mean, like obviously you don't want to make mistakes, but I'm like, you cannot make a mistake. It is like any tiny error that is made, they have these things called events where like they launch a full-scale investigation, and this could genuinely be something like you wrote 2016 instead of 2017, because you can't prove that retrospectively, then that's it. That isn't like,
oh my goodness, this year the amount of times I've put 2018 instead of 2019, so I'd be out the door.
It's a lot of pressure over really it seems like quite trivial things. Like there's no grey area, everything's very black and white. It's like, this is the rules, you have to follow them to the letter. Common sense doesn't come into it doesn't matter, this is how it is. And it's a lot of pressure knowing like every single thing you do, someone, like 3 people are checking it with a fine-tooth comb, and then if something does happen, you checked it and missed it, that's your fault as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot of pressure like on you to do it, and it's not like, obviously there's a lot of pressure here. Like I'd say there's probably a lot of people in academia out there like, yeah, I'm under pressure as well, but like it's a sort of different sort of thing. And I'd say here it's a lot more individual work, like so like we're all independently in my lab working on different things, like it's all towards a common goal essentially, but like we're all working on different sort of projects, whereas in my old place it was like, right, this is the day's amount of work that you have, this use all stay till it gets done, use are splitting it, that's kind of how it is. And it's just like the workload, again, I can't speak for everyone, I'm sure there's a lot of people here who are like crazy busy, but sometimes we'd be like 12 hours without a break, like literally running to get to the toilet, or like running to like have a drink of water or something. Like it was just so busy, and yeah, there's a lot of things that are really different, but yeah, so it's more relaxed here.
Yeah.
I think there's on the other side, the flip side, there's more job security in industry than there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the company that I was working for, it was a big pharmaceutical company, so there was like never a worry about money, running out of money. Like the way that there is here, that you weren't like scrambling to be like, oh, we got money for this, we got money for that. Like the money seemed endless. So that's different than it is here. Like there was never a question of finances or anything like that. So yeah, that's another thing that's a bit different.
Yeah. So do you think you could ever be tempted to go back into the private sector?
Ideally not. I would not. But like I said, see, I'm a grant funded technician. So
Okay.
basically next June, I technically don't have a job anymore because that's when my funding runs out. So in a situation like that, like if that was the situation that I was in, I would maybe go back to it. And like I said, I only worked in one place in industry, so I'm sure it's not all like the same. So never say never, but I really enjoy where I am.
Yeah.
Probably the size of the company that you worked for could have been a factor in the overwhelmingness of it. Maybe in a smaller company, maybe it would have been different or not. But but there's that.
Because we had a few people came to our place that had come from smaller companies because they were kind of drawn by the job security side of it, of being like, this is a huge company, we're probably not going to, like small businesses, you always wonder maybe could this go under, or will I always have this? Whereas like again, the big companies, you don't need to worry about money, you probably don't need to worry about not having a job anymore. And I guess in a busy environment, like you'll always have a job, because like that's like the positive spin on it, is like you're so busy that they're not going to be like letting people go, because it's just like as hectic as it is. So I would say never about going back, but I would much prefer here. Not to be like let's sucking up. But yeah.
But I think as well, you said here that you're really expanding your skill set.
Yeah.
I think that hopefully means that when your contract comes to the end, you've got those transferable skills. So Paul, we're talking to you very nicely, the Chief Technician, Paul Patterson, that he should hopefully know of other jobs available, maybe in a different lab group, that your skills can be transferred to, I think.
You're quite right. The university does try and re-employ as much as possible good candidates.
Yeah.
They're always on the lookout, so
I think I'm lucky. I've ended up in a really good lab where we have like 4 really experienced postdocs, and Marianne, she's worked here for 20 years, and I think the fact that it's like we do a lot of molecular stuff, so they are really transferable skills. And I'm getting there's a lot of very knowledgeable people helping me out all the time. Like I think if it was maybe a smaller lab that you maybe only had a couple of PhD students and like but I've really kind of landed on my feet in that sense, that I'm learning a lot off of very helpful, knowledgeable people.
Yeah.
Do you think, although kind of having a set contract is quite scary, it also does give you that option if you wanted to go and try working in a different area? Or I know you're talking about maybe going back to virology. Do you think it is quite exciting to know that that is a possibility for you?
It is nice thinking of it that way, that like you could get moved around, you're not going to be in the same, but then that is kind of daunting as well, because like I said, all the people I work with are really lovely, they're really helpful, and obviously I'd be grateful to get another job, but like you worry like, oh, if it's not, like, do you know what I mean? It's just a bit, but I think it would be good probably for your career if you've worked in loads of different like places, to be like, oh, I know this, I know a bit about this, like it's probably a good thing for me personally, like down the line it would be good. It's just scary, like the thought of the kind of uncertainty of it a wee bit. But I think we had a meeting with Paul about the like grant funded technicians. I think it's something that they're looking at, because a lot of people, like I said, I've only been here 6 months, so I can't really moan, but like Marianne, for example, the other technician in our lab, she's probably like the most valuable person there, and she's still on contracts, and she's worked here for 20 years, and they're like, why can she not get, do you know what I mean? Like it seems ridiculous, like if she were to leave, what would happen? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have the same situation in our lab group, and you think, gosh, if some of the more senior lab techs went, all that knowledge that would just go. It's terrifying.
Plus, I mean, the PIs very easily give the responsibility to these senior techs, knowing, I mean, that they will take better care of, say, students or PhD, masters, whatever level, than maybe their postdocs. So yeah, it'll be good to have something in place.
And it was interesting when we were at the meeting about the grant funded technicians. Paul was saying like MVLS is the only like school that has this issue. Like engineering, chemistry, they don't have, like, nearly all of their technicians are core funded.
Wow.
So I think that's what they're maybe trying to move towards, but it's just difficult because of the funding thing. But then you're like, got other places seem to be able to do it, so I don't.
So why can't our institute?
Which I like, because I didn't realise. I just assumed everywhere was the same.
Yeah, me too.
Until because even the technician commitment things, we've been having those big meetings and stuff, and Marianne had said about like, I've worked here 20 years, I'm still on a, like, she also has a personal gripe of the fact that like when you take a new job they put you down a grade.
Oh,
really? So each new contract, does she have to work her way back up?
So she's a grade 7 because she's also the lab manager, but if she, say when her contract ends, if she's like, they don't ever put out posts for a grade 7 because why would they? Do you know what I mean? They need to pay more money. So like, she basically raised a question about that to, it was like, I think it was someone quite high up in HR, and he was like, oh, that's a very, like, that doesn't really happen. And she was like, no, it does happen. Like, you don't work in an institute where, or like a college where that happens, but it does happen. Like, so I think they're not really aware of so much. But I think we're trying to kind of shout about it. Paul's good for her. He's got our backs.
Definitely.
So,
Good, excellent. Well, on that note, do you have any advice for people wishing to follow a technical science career?
I'd say if you're in a position financially and in your life to give it a chance, then go do it, try it out, because I've had a very positive experience. Like, I can't speak for everyone, but I've really enjoyed it, and like everyone that works here seems to just really like it. Like, no one's having a really bad time, and it's such a different environment of learning a lot of different things, and I think it would be easy to get stuck into a certain mindset if that was all you'd known, then you could be like that forever. But coming here, it's just a whole different set of skills and people and experiences that you're having. And like I'd said earlier, if you maybe don't fancy a PhD, then this is a good alternative. Because my brother did a PhD in chemistry, and I think my mum and dad, he's the luckiest person that ever, like, he didn't even apply, so they just phoned him and were like, oh, do you want a PhD? And he was like, oh yeah. And then so when I graduated, my mum and dad were like, you're not going to do that? And I'm like, that doesn't happen to everyone.
Where's your damn phone call?
So and it's not like a stagnant career, because like you're constantly, there's new techniques are coming in all the time that you'd be required to learn and stuff like that, whereas I feel like in industry you can get totally pigeonholed, like, this is our way of doing it because this is the way we've always done it, this is what we are required to do by law, and whereas here it's more, you can try things and there's more options that way. So I'd say go for it. I've had a good time.
I mean, given that you've now left industry to come work here, are you looking at a certain career progression within academia?
I don't know. I honestly don't, because I know that there's a lot of options with like the teaching, there's teaching technicians and stuff, which I think would be actually quite good, depending on how you go on with other people. Which I like, because in my old job I had to go on a trainer course, so and I had to train up all the new staff. So I'm quite familiar with it. I guess it just depends. It's just another option. Like if you think, oh, I'm fed up with what I'm doing in research, like it's just another sort of, you could be an expert at other things like people skills and stuff like that. So I don't know. I've not thought too far ahead. I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens. But
Cool. Okay.
Well, on that note, should we go into a little quick fire round to learn some more bits and bobs about you, Bethany?
Okay.
So what is your favourite food?
I love a Nando's. I like, have you ever been to Topo Bambas in St Vincent Street? It's like Mexican tapas.
No, I haven't actually.
That's like my favourite.
So La Bambas.
Topo Bambas.
Topo Bambas in St
Vincent Street.
My question would be, what like level of spice do you get on your
Oh,
Nando's?
yes.
Oh, I'm a lemon.
Lemon and herb, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
If you're embarrassing one, yeah.
What's your favourite book?
I don't really read. When I was in high school, I had to do I did advanced higher English. I did my dissertation on A Clockwork Orange
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
and A Handmaid's Tale. They're both pretty good because it was about like dystopian futures and stuff like that. But A Clockwork Orange is good. It's difficult to get into because
And all the weird language
yeah,
as well,
it's like
isn't
a
it?
weird language, but it's strange. Like by the end of it, you kind of end up like understanding it.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. You know what? I love A Clockwork Orange, and I really like the Stanley Kubrick adaptation of it, the film version. And one thing I love about it so much is they're such evil people, and Alex, the main character, such evil people, but by the end of the film, you almost find yourself empathising with him and feeling sorry for him, and it's like, my goodness, how is this possible that somebody so evil, you can almost do a complete flip and suddenly find yourself empathising with them. It's like, oh my goodness, no. So
no, it's really good. The book is good. It's quite short as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got a spare time
now
to read it.
I've got the book at home myself.
Nice. Favourite city?
Glasgow.
Without a doubt.
I've not been to that many cities, to be honest, but like it's not
Yeah,
bad.
you
It's not
from
competition.
Glasgow originally.
Port Glasgow. So like down the road. But no, I've not been. I'm trying to think where I've been cities wise. I was in Wrocław in Poland.
Okay.
In March. That was nice. It was lovely. But I haven't been to very many like European cities. Barcelona. That's another one. It's really nice. Yeah, it's Glasgow.
Glasgow is
Yeah.
pretty awesome, and I'm
Yeah.
saying this from a Welsh person who's moved to Glasgow. I think Glasgow is lovely.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree.
going for it.
Because I used to live in Newcastle and definitely prefer Glasgow.
Yeah. Even when I go to Edinburgh, I'm like, it's alright, but it's not Glasgow.
I completely agree,
Yeah.
because seriously, back in Wales, when people talk about Scotland, it's always Edinburgh this, Edinburgh that. And Edinburgh is really nice, but it's nowhere near as vibrant as Glasgow. Glasgow's got everything. I mean, yes, Edinburgh's got the castle, and that's beautiful, but Edinburgh all the way for me. Glasgow all the way. Glasgow all the way for me.
I know Edinburgh's pretty, but it's not as fun.
And it's
Yeah.
always really cold in Edinburgh.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
It's always so
It's the
busy.
people.
Yeah.
It's so busy, Edinburgh. I think because it's more the tourist
Yeah.
place, so that even during
Yeah.
the week it's just mobbed. So Glasgow, that one's.
So what about favourite band or musician?
I like the Arctic Monkeys as a band. Quite a basic, boring choice. But I do like them. There's like an Irish singer called Christy Moore. You like him? Big fan of him. He's like a folk singer. It's like somebody like my family's just listened to him their whole life. But I went to see him in November there, and it was like one of the
Oh,
best.
brilliant. Was that over in Ireland or here?
No, it was at Barras in Glasgow.
Oh, cool.
So he usually plays once a year. I think my dad and my brother have seen him like 20 times.
Wow.
Or something like that. It's just like, yeah. So him as well. But yeah.
Do you play music yourself?
No. I literally do not have a musical bone in my whole body. I played violin in P7, which I'm sure was wonderful.
Your parents loved you for that
Yeah.
then.
Oh yes, it was great, I'm sure.
Favourite film?
I quite like V for Vendetta. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen it, and I know I keep on
Okay.
getting told off that I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, I will get round to watching it.
I've watched it so many times.
As
It's a very
well,
good film.
Natural Born Killers. Have you ever seen that with Woody Harrelson in it?
No, I haven't seen that
No,
It's
either.
Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis. I think Robert Downey Jr.'s actually maybe in it. It's just a wee short cameo. It's really good. They're like serial killers in it.
Yeah, I really like Juliette Lewis as an actress though.
Yeah.
She plays quite unhinged people very well.
It's very kind of Quentin Tarantino-esque
Okay.
sort
Yeah, I
of film.
quite like Tarantino films, so I'll have to give it a go.
It's really good. It's
Oh.
quite grim, but it's good.
Oh, yeah.
I have loads of favourite films, but I think that's... Or have you ever seen American History X? It's a very good film. No?
No.
This is the one with Edward
Norton.
Norton. Yeah, Ed Norton.
That's really good.
It's quite iconic.
That is
as
actually a
well,
good
isn't it?
movie now that I think of
It's a
it.
really good film.
This is where he's a
The
not-
skinhead.
Yeah, he's a skinhead,
Yeah.
and then his brother becomes a skinhead, and he sees it from another perspective. Yeah, it was
I actually think that's one of the highest rating films on IMDb, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I
Okay.
think so. I think it's quite quite
It's really
high.
good.
I feel like I should start noting these down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can listen back.
Cool. So, from film to TV program, you have a favorite one?
I like Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Watch that. No.
I've seen the first season. I think the first.
He's got the hat.
I've got the hat. I've got the hat. I've got the coat. No, the first scene of the first episode was something beautiful. You know, the imagery of the lady blowing powder onto that horse. I think it was for him to win or something. Or
Oh yeah, because they're bookies, aren't they?
That's
And
what they are, yeah.
So they were like fixing
so I
the
thought it was, the imagery is beautiful in that.
Yeah.
But I've not gone beyond season 1.
I just finished Game of Thrones as well.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. What did you think of the ending? Can you say anything without giving spoilers away?
Oh, it's done. It's a week away now. Everybody knows.
I don't know. I was like, the whole season when people were moaning about it, I was like, give it a chance. Like, I know there's a lot of things that don't make sense, but it's still entertaining. But the last episode, I was like, instead of like giving it away, that's all I was saying. I was like, you brat. That's it.
I see. He knew it. That's why.
I know. But I don't think
You
writers
always knew.
thought that. I think they were just like, who's the person they least expect? That doesn't make that much sense. Oh, I can't.
You know, I haven't watched a single episode. How bad is that?
Really?
I am obviously missing out because everybody's talking about it, but I'm just so rubbish at actually sitting down and watching something.
It's a lot
so-
to watch now because
Yeah.
there's a lot of series.
Yeah.
It's a lot to follow. There's loads of characters and they've all got really odd names and like you're kind of like, how do I follow? Like, who's who? And stuff.
Yeah, I can't even remember what happened at the start.
Yeah. No, it's
It's
quite,
been that long ago,
Yeah,
that many
yeah.
episodes.
quite confusing.
Do you have any pastimes or hobbies?
I don't know if I'd call it a pastime anymore. Like maybe when I was younger, I own a horse.
Oh,
wow.
But he's more of a pet than a hobby, really. It's just like, he doesn't do much, he's just out in the field hanging about. Because I bought him when he was a baby when I was 18. And like you have to wait till they're 4-ish before you can ride horses, just because they're still growing. And I thought, oh, that would be great, I'll be finished uni and I'll have all this time. And I was like, oh no, I work full time, I don't have any time at all. So like, he just hangs out in the field.
So can you ride them?
I can.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's Sylvester.
Sylvester.
Yeah. So I've kind of always like been round horses since I was wee, and then I gave it up for years and years, and then I got a bit older and I had money in my own because I had SAS, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to get a horse, get myself one. Thought I'd have loads of time to do stuff, but I don't. So
It's amazing the amount of money you have when you're 18.
I
I
know.
look back at the
I know.
purchases I made when I was 18. How did I afford them? I think now I wouldn't have a hope in hell when adult reality kicks in and it's all the bills and everything. My goodness.
No.
So if you want to buy a horse, buy it when you're 18.
and then regret it. Like, I don't regret it. It's like my child.
What does he look like? What kind of horse is he?
He's a Welsh Cob. That's his official title.
Do you have any claims to fame, or have you ever met anybody famous?
I once met the whole cast of Still Game when they were all in their full makeup because they were filming down it was actually down where the horses were. There's a big what do you call it, an estate in Inverkip, and it's got like a big fancy house. They were filming something there, but they were parking in the car park, and like you could just seen them all with like their whole old age makeup and stuff like that on. But that's probably the most, I've never really met anyone famous. That's it.
I used to film where I used to stay earlier near Mary Hill, and the pub from the the outside of the pub is shot. Basically, that was my way to work every day. So, but some of my friends are huge fans. It's
It's a
a
bit of a
brilliant.
Scottish institution,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Because it was Still Game, and it was Tune the Fat was first. Like that was the first one. That was like the sketch show years and years ago, and then they kind of made a spin off of like one of the characters, and that was Still Game. But I think the last few years it wasn't as big as it used to be. But yeah, that was like the most exciting people I've ever met. Not very crazy.
So, what did you want to be when you grew up, apart from a horse owner?
I wanted to do the RSPCA things where they
Okay.
would rescue the animals, but see now I'm far too soft. I couldn't never. I just
Yeah.
cry. I can't even watch it on TV. I just cry. account. That's what I did want to be when I was younger, but didn't do that.
Well, there's still options. I mean, me and my daughter, we have a rescue ourselves,
Yeah.
and we love dogs. But yeah, we went to the Dogs Trust to volunteer as dog walkers, which you can do in your spare time, or you can do other things as well. But we wanted to be dog walkers, and essentially when we went there to volunteer as dog walkers, they said, "Oh, why don't you take a puppy?"
And nobody can turn down a puppy.
No, you can't.
So we have that puppy now. And yeah, so
She's not much of a puppy anymore, is she?
no, she's all grown up.
What kind of dog is it?
Oh, it's a stuffy crossed with God knows what. But yeah, cool. Okay.
So as the last question, if you weren't a scientist, what would your alternative career be now?
I don't really know. I did, after I graduated my undergrad, I applied to be to do the postgrad in teaching. I didn't get it, thankfully, because I think I would be an absolutely atrocious teacher. Like, the thought I stand up in front of all these teenagers and they're just giving me
Yeah, my goodness.
But
You've got to be so thick-skinned as well to deal with
I know.
teenagers. One of my friends is a teacher of sort of A-level students, and the grief he gets, my goodness, and really attacking like your personal life as well. It's like I would honestly break down and cry if they said the things that they had said to him.
Yeah. But do you think, because you talked a bit about kind of training other people in the lab, like I always think that's a bit nicer, like maybe teaching people a little bit older and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's a whole different thing. Because like if you're the folk at work, like they want to be there, they applied to do this, whereas like teenagers, they don't want to be there. Like, they're just like,
We don't want to be here.
so there's no effort, and it's like everyone gets lumped together regardless of whether they like it or they hate it. So that's probably what I would have ended up doing, but maybe I wouldn't have liked it. But if I could choose, I'd probably be a makeup artist. I'm not good at it, but I would love to do it. Like I think it'd be really interesting, but fun, really fun. I think, but I'm not good at it.
So would that be sort of normal makeup or like bridal makeup or more theatrical?
I don't know. I'm not good at any of it, but I would say like I think because one of my friends works on a film sets and stuff, and it just sounds like so much fun. Have you ever heard of Outlander?
Yeah,
She's a makeup artist.
Oh wow!
Wasn't that short in the university itself? Or?
I think they had a bit of it on there. I just think it sounds really good. Fun. Like she met Chris Pine, like you know the guy that was in
Star Trek.
He's in that Scottish film that was on Netflix. Is it last?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Or is it I can't remember. But she said she worked on that as well when she met him. I just think that sounds really fun. Like
well, my sister was actually a makeup artist, but in theatre, and that was amazing because she would be doing all the like makeup for musicals of Cats or like Beauty and the Beast, and she was doing all the prosthetics on the Beast and everything. And I just used to go and watch her do it and think, wow, that is so much fun. Just this sort of buzz of live theatre and people running around changing their makeup and their costumes. And I used to think it was the most exciting thing ever.
Like, I'm not a creative person, but like if I was, I think that would be so much fun to do that. Because like, have you ever seen the programme Face Off? It's like the Great British Bake Off, but like with prosthetics. It looks so cool. It's like they make all the monsters for like the films and stuff. It's really good.
I was going to say the best thing that I saw a makeup artist with was a literal like airbrush gun to like blow makeup onto your face. Like, and they were using it to like, to do people for TV, because they have to make them like really orange so they stand out. And they just like, it's like they're just spray painting people's faces. That's brilliant.
Somebody was like being annoying, really. Right.
I probably could do some makeup.
Well, wonderful. Thank you very much, Bethany. And that concludes our latest podcast, and unfortunately my last podcast with the Institute of Molecular Cell and Systems Biology. So now Ada will be taking over from me. Very sad to leave Glasgow University, but it's been great fun being here. So until the next podcast, I shall say bye for now and let Ada take over in the future.